Welcome to FemWisdom with Ma. This is a unique podcast with some pretty juicy conversations between feminine wisdom leaders and myself when my channel is open, bringing through the source of feminine wisdom I call Ma. Now, here's our host, Venus Kesselberg, who'll be holding space today for us in these conversations, and I'll let her introduce our special guest.
Welcome to FemWisdom with Ma, a unique podcast where today's leading voices in women's wisdom, spirituality, and feminine leadership gather in conversation with the divine feminine herself, channeled through Mellissa Seaman as Ma. Together we explore what it means to lead, love, heal, and awaken as women in a changing world. I'm your host, Venus Kesselberg, holding space today for intuitive guide and channel of Ma, Mellissa Seaman, and our special guest, Elayne Kalila, is an ordained priestess, transformational teacher, author, and founder of the Priestess Presence School of Sacred Arts and Temple, a global feminine mystery school and sisterhood that has touched the lives of more than 100,000 women worldwide. For more than 30 years, she has guided women in awakening their deepest wisdom, embodying feminine leadership, and reclaiming the sacred intelligence of the feminine mysteries. Elayne Kalila is a devoted teacher of the Mary Magdalene Mysteries, the best-selling co-author of The Sacred Call of the Ancient Priestess, creator of the Magdalene Rose Oracle, and host of the Red Podcast. Welcome, Elayne Kalila.
Welcome, Elayne Kalila. I'm so glad you're here, love. Thank you for joining us today for this first inaugural episode of FemWisdom with Ma. And thank you, Venus, for serving as our host and anchoring and grounding this container so that we can do what we came here to do. And I'm so psyched that it's Elayne Kalila who's here today because, honey, you have been holding the container for Ma, for the goddess, for the priestesses, for the reclamation of the divine feminine on this planet for frickin' decades. And not just in some like woo otherworldly way, but in the actual real life containers, the down and dirty shadow work, the profound study and scholarship. And let's face it, you were a relationship therapist for years, so it's true. You know. Yeah.
I do.
So I'm so thrilled that you're here, Kalila. Thank you for being here. And we're doing something really unique with this show. Whether you're listening or watching, I am now going to step out of this room, and Venus and Kalila are going to speak because we really want to hear what Kalila's been up to and what she's got coming next, which I'm very excited about. Meanwhile, I'll open my channel so that after this segment, you can talk to Ma through me. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
So, Elayne Kalila, tell me, have you ever seen Mellissa channel Ma before?
I have, actually, on a number of occasions. So I know what I'm in for.
Cool. What would you say, like, for somebody who's just listening for the first time, what would you say that's like?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's like being in the presence of truth is the way that I would say it. You know, I think we all have access to the bigger T truth through our connection to divine source. And I think when Mellissa steps into the channel of Ma, what she's really accessing into is, that universal truth that infuses every spiritual lineage, every spiritual cosmology that we have. You know it when you hear it because you've heard it said through different channels at different times and it resonates, right? And so that's what the experience is. It's like, oh, we're being reminded of who we are, at a higher capacity and our more, connected space when we're more connected to our divine human selves. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. That's beautifully said. I love that. And she was really excited about your new program. I'd love to hear all about it. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's fascinating, right? The last 11 years, I would say I have been on an odyssey of a journey through what is clinically labeled as perimenopause. That's what they call it out there, folks. For all of you women who are in your early to mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s, there's this transitional time of life that we go through. And I've been really traveling through that. I had an extended perimenopausal journey. As I said, it was about an 11-year journey, and I just completed it really last year at the age of 57, which was monumental. And I'm still integrating from that. But really what is coming through me at this point in time is I'm devising a new program. I'm super excited, which is all for the midlife mavens out there, for the women who are going through this phase of their lives and who are really looking to be held in the rite of passage that it truly is. Because perimenopause is not just a bunch of clinical symptoms that we have to suffer. It also happens to be an incredible chrysalis, an incredible potent time of our lives where we really get to let go of who we have been and embrace the next version of who we're becoming for the next chapter of our lives. And so I have been writing furiously over on my Substack, talking a lot about these 7 gateways that we travel through during our perimenopausal years, and really what it looks like to go through that metamorphic journey. And so I'm super excited. We're developing a new quiz that's going to be coming out in just a little while here, where you can locate yourself as to which of the 7 gateways you're currently standing at. And then, as I said, come the summer, I'm going to be launching a brand new program that I haven't done ever before. So I'm super excited. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. Well, we are so excited for that. And I believe that Mellissa has transitioned and Ma is here. Ready for your question.
I love hearing you talk about it. I love hearing you talk about the great evolution of mature woman. I love hearing you talk about it. Oh, I love hearing it with these ears and feeling it in this skin. I love feeling alive inside of the change.
Yeah. Yes.
I love it.
Thank too.
Thank you.
And the change that we get to go through at this phase of our lives inside the female body. I don't know what it is to be inside the male body, but inside the female body is so monumental and so needed to be explored and remembered as to what it actually is, right? And so I'm really excited to feel how sensual and alive it's making you feel.
I do. I feel the difference in this body from when we first came through 15 years ago to now, and she's been through this change. I feel the difference.
Yeah.
I feel the ground beneath us in a different way. I feel how the body is landed. I feel how the voice is more free. Easier for me to come through, honestly. Now that we don't give so many fucks. Without any wiggling from behind from the personality, without any holdings on, I can come through and be here with you.
Woo! Woo. So I'm curious what's happened here with this throat. What happens to our voices at this phase of our lives? Like, let's talk about that, because I notice it too.
It feels like a flight in this place. It feels like wings that open.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps in the way that in the fertile years, the wings below open. In the sexual arena, in that opening of the birthing canal, in that opening below. Perhaps this later change is for the opening of the throat, the wings expanding from here. Whoa! And
just
look at
wings.
You. The wings of your throat have expanded. Tell us what that feels like to feel unfettered. In your voice now, after so many years of speaking and teaching and counseling and leading.
Yeah.
And now what are you doing?
Wow. Exactly that. You know, I really feel like the expression of this phase of our life as women, when we hit the midlife, this expression that you're speaking about, how I experience it, Ma, is like I am clearer. Somehow the resonance and the transmission is clearer. It's more direct. It's less concerned with what you think of me. I don't really care anymore. And it's not like I don't care about you. I just don't care whether you agree with me. I don't have to have you agree with me in order for me to be okay.
The curses don't land.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
old curses that felt so restraining in the earlier times. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because he who curses, that ruler on high, the emperor who is high on himself and not collaborating, that one, he doesn't see the crone coming. He doesn't recognize she still comes. And so the curse doesn't land. There's a chink in his armor, the sick one, the sick, tired leader of this twisted masculine. He never sees her coming because he has already disregarded her, the later queen, the mature maven. He doesn't see her coming. He's not trying to collar her. He's just trying to ignore her to his detriment. For she has more embodied power of creation and of voice than any young maiden could have with so little life experience earned. Isn't it wonderful to see yourself slipping under the fence, avoiding the moat, dancing atop the alligators, and flying to the turret?
Yes. I have a question for you, Ma. They say that in the US alone, there are 43 million women going through this awakening right now.
Yes.
What do you see happening with 43 million women awakening?
They're not only going through this awakening, but they are also receiving the riches of the last leader's mess.
Yes, exactly.
The money is passing into their hands. The money. And
the currency.
The currency, the flow is flowing into them. And again, he has been disregarding her. He has been imagining she doesn't exist. He doesn't count her because she's not a breeder. She's not a seductress. So therefore she doesn't exist in his lexicon. And yet the tide has shifted. It's already shifted. She's already waking up. And he's already falling down. And when I say he, I don't mean all the males. We are speaking about a particular sick masculine that has held us all hostage. But these mature mavens, these grounded, unfuckwithable, winged voices of truth and integrity, they're about to receive the resource.
The resource. What does it mean to be resourced by the world?
Resourced. So yes, the money, the opportunities, the land, the decision-making power, sure, yes. But those things, including wealth, have their most value in reconnecting humans to value itself. Reconnection to source, the source of what matters, the source of longing, the source of power. It doesn't come from a banknote.
I see a vision as you're speaking, which is of all the women rising with their winged throats and their arms held out and their yonis free to the earth. And in this power that says there is magic in the fact that you have not been seeing me. There is the magic in the fact that you have tried to invisibilize me, because in your invisibilizing of me, I have been rising. You haven't noticed, have you? That's what I hear. That distorted masculine is so busy tooting his own trumpet.
Yes.
And flailing his shillelagh around, doing his thing, that he hasn't even noticed that we're rising, and he keeps trying to tamp us down. But this is what I want to say, is there is no tamping me down, because I don't care.
And that is the sound of a winged throat open.
Right.
Do you hear her speaking her soul's path, her own soul's perspective? Wah! In poetry and grace and caring and imperfection, perfectness. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? This is what we're here for. And neither this voice channel nor this voice channel has all the answers. But together we bring our poetry, and as you say, as you see, the voices rise together, making not just wings, but a tapestry of new creation. A tapestry of new values, a tapestry of all the creators rising, male and female, and other coming together, rising together. And how lovely it is to wink and notice that, yes, that blind spot of the old crotchety one who is now falling apart, his blind spot has been, yes, for the mature Ma, coming now through the mature Mavens, the crones as well, and the elder men who know the balance, and the magical child who has also been hiding under the table. As this old crotchety one has been sucking its lifeblood from it and pretending that it is wrong and making it wrong and making play wrong and making magic wrong and making beauty wrong. And that magical child is also now coming out from under the table and saying, I'm here. And I am part of this new tapestry. And it is the mavens who know how to welcome that child out of hiding. It is the grandmother who is able to get any child to come out and feel free.
Come play with me.
Come play. It's time. He hasn't been seeing you and he hasn't been seeing me. And now we are rising in the balance.
I love it. I want to say something about the word maven to you all, because it's an interesting word. It comes from the Yiddish word mervin, but a mervin is a woman who knows that she has traveled through this life and she has garnered the wisdom. She has literally sucked the marrow out of the bone. She has eaten life and she has been eaten by life. And she knows. She is a woman who knows herself. And she knows why she is here. And nobody can tell her. That is a maven, my loves. It is a very powerful word for our gnosis, for our reclamation of I'm a woman who knows. Unfuckable with, as you might say.
It's delightful to find the new words that are the old words remade.
Yes.
It's delightful to speak them without fear of being tortured, hung, or killed. It's fun to speak it aloud now. In sisterhood with hands clasped.
Yeah. And to see each other. Yes. To recognize each other and to say, I see you. I know you're one. I know you're one. I know you're one. And I know you're one. You earned the right to be here. Not because you needed to earn it, but because you lived the life to get here, though. And that's what it takes. You have to have taken life and grabbed it and lived it to come here. That's what this is all about.
So
what are we going to
many
do,
people.
Ma? What are we going to do with all this power that we have? As we're remembering it, what do we do with the power now?
Co-create.
Mm.
Co-create. The beauty of having lived through the age of overly fluid, tweaked feminine, and having lived through the overly harsh, tweaked masculine, is it's now time to co-create. It's now time to play together like we're doing right now. No one voice, no one channel, no one hierophant. All tapestry together. Truth is in the conversation, not in the proclamation. Truth is in the conversation. So conversations that matter and values that include the earth as well as the mind. Yes, it's an exciting time. And there will be more help as well from your interdimensional friends, from your spirit guides, from the magical ones of the earth. Because as that magical child comes out from under the table, the magic begins to be accessible again. Are your pets speaking more loudly to you? Are the wildlife showing you signs more than ever? Are you reading signs in the sky?
Yeah, I am.
Make no mistake, this will accelerate. And so you are not alone, and you never have been. And this truth that you spoke just before, when you were speaking to the power of life experience, this is the thing that so many, even spiritual humans, don't embrace and celebrate. The fact that those of us who are on the other side of the veil, spirit guides, angels, call us what you will, are in deep reverence to you living beings, your courage, your brilliance, your silliness, your creativity, the way that you live in this dense place. So respectable, so incredible, so marvelous. And you think, oh, that which is marvelous lives in heaven. No, it's happening here. In every one of you that is living these lives with so much confusion and suffering and this constant contest. It's not natural to your soul. It is a fantastic way to learn. And your learning, your wisdom, your accrued, earned wisdom is a treasure that cannot be made in heaven. And you are gifting it to the whole by living here and being here and playing your part. And we are grateful to the humans, to all these humane humans who are playing the game with integrity, especially because that's the hardest way to play it. What will you create? No one up there can say. Because it's those who are here now collaborating. Those are the ones who will decide. We're just assisting. You are the players. And we are so impressed at the things that you think are ridiculous, the things that you think are meaningless. We are impressed that you stop and pick a tiny flower. We never saw that coming. We are impressed when you create a painting. Where does that come from? It's so beautiful. We're so impressed when you feel the depth of your trauma. You feel it all the way through. How do you do that? It's incredible. It's amazing. You don't need to ascend to be amazing. You don't need to be perfect to be a perfectly amazing co-creator. We love working with you. even when you fuck everything up. We love it. We love it. Woo! We love it. We love listening to you in this full powered throat, expressing the truth that only you could in the way that you do.
Yum.
Thank you. Thank you for being what you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you, both of you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for doing exactly what you're doing, even if you're not so impressed with yourself. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to release this channel.
Wow. How is that for you?
Well, it's like, I mean, for me, it's like having a chat with someone I recognize and I know that level of exuberance and energy and yesness to life, you know. So there's a familiarity and a joy that comes when we recognize that this grand experiment that we're in, this grand adventure of being human, is everything. It's ecstasy and it's pain. It's everything. It's everything. Every feeling we could ever imagine is the gamut of what we're here to experience. And that there's something incredibly beautiful about that. And it's also something deeply, deeply challenging about it, you know? So all of it feels really true to me. The allness of the everythingness.
Wow, beautifully said. I love how you played off of each other, and yeah, there was so much expression there, and I couldn't stop grinning. I was so happy to be here with you guys. So thank you both so much.
Blessed be.
Such a joy. It's such an honor to get to drop into that space with you, love.
Oh my gosh.
Honor.
Likewise. Likewise,
and
sweetheart.
the work that's
Thank
channeling through you now, holy moly. You guys, anybody who's listening, you need to follow her on Substack. There will be links in the show notes. You need to follow her. Be like one of the first 1,500 people who are following her in the first 2 weeks of your writing is so magnetic and so you're channeling Ma in all the ways.
Well,
it's right there for all of us.
That's what's here for us, my darlings. At this phase of our existence, as we come into this, into what I think are the glory years, the power years of our lives, that's what's here. You get to do what you came here to do, only do it at the pinnacle of the bestness of what you can offer. Isn't that fun? I mean, that's it. You've been spending all these years mastering who you are. Now you have this thing to bring. And I say, bring it. That's what I say. Let's bring it because the world needs it so desperately. And that's why Melissa's bringing Ma. I mean, right? Because you got to bring it. It's what's here. So yay. Thank you for having me be the inaugural guest on such an extraordinary exploration in consciousness. It was so fun.
Thank you so much, love.
Yay. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Mwah.
Thanks for joining us here for FemWisdom with Ma. And if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a great review. Would you like more? Come on over to FemWisdom.com and we will show you how to get your own questions answered by Ma on the show. You can explore articles and teachings from Ma's wisdom to inspire you, and you can discover more about how to activate your own creative channel as the feminine wisdom leader you were born to be.